Hello, Libra. This is Adrian Igo, Capricorntigress of Astrology. Look inside, and I'm going at super fast speed trying to get these readings done for you bonuses tonight. So I'm going to be going pretty quick because I have promised that I will complete the 21-day dance challenge on Facebook at the 21-day dance challenge group, which means I got to strip down, put on my skibbies, and get ready to dance. And so I will be doing that. But before I do, I wanted to go through this chart because I promised myself I was going to do bonus readings for certain signs. And you, Libra, was one of those signs. So I just want to go over certain things and see, how why I've been led to give you the message that I've been led to give you this day when the sun is at 17 degrees of Aquarius, squaring my moon exactly right now. Amazing. Anyway, let's look at your chart and let's look at what's been going on. First thing I want to say is that Venus entered Capricorn on the 3rd, and that is right down there in the bottom of your chart, right? And then on the 4th, we had that new moon. That was that Aquarius new moon. That was your 5th house emphasis. And then on the 10th, we're going to have Mercury entering Pisces, okay? Pisces. And that is around your 6th house. That is your 6th house. During the month, we're also going to have the sun go into Pisces. And we'll have Mars going into Taurus, Chiron going to Aries, and there's going to be that full moon in Virgo on the 19th. So we're going to be discussing some of that right now. And as I do this reading, let me refresh this page because I thought it had moved, but it doesn't look like it has. Yeah, it definitely has. Wow. It definitely has. The sun is now at 18 degrees. And guess what? The moon is exactly sextile my sun right now in Pisces, or the moon's in Pisces at 14 degrees, sextile my sun in Capricorn in the 12th house of Pisces, and trine my midheaven and trine Neptune in Scorpio. I feel like whatever information I have, hopefully will be divinely inspired to come to you. And there's a reason I believe that I was chosen and to do these bonuses for the ones that I was chosen to do the bonuses for. When I look at your chart, the first thing that hits me right away, right away, is that the North Node is sitting up there all alone in your 10th house. It's in Cancer, it's in your 10th house, and it is actively opposing Pluto right now. I mean, Saturn, Pluto, and Venus are going to be down in your 4th house, or your solar 4th house, or natural 4th house is opposing Cancer. Okay, so I've been talking about this a little bit with other people, but in your case, the way it's really going to be affecting you, I mean, your partner's down at home, most likely doing whatever they do at home, but you've got so much emphasis out in the public. Like, you are the emphasis right now. It's all about you, and you feel that, I'm sure, with all that North Node vibration going on in your 10th house of career and your image, because that's your image. That's what people think about when they think about you. They're going to be thinking about that Cancer North Node up there in that 10th house. You're going to be coming off as a very sweet and kind and compassionate, caring person, even at work. I mean, you might even get to be known for being caring, nurturing, family-oriented. A man who, or a woman who is into their family and into caring for others and nurturing others and supporting others and uplifting others. It's, Cancer in the 10th house is actually a very good thing. A lot of people don't believe it, but it's true, because when Cancer gets in the 10th house, it just, to me, says publicity. They are like so good at whenever Cancer is up there. So good at getting the crowd, so good at getting people's attention, because Cancer, just by being Cancer, brings the moon with it. And the moon touches off people's imagination and, their hopes and things. It makes it's imagination, it's the fantasy, it's the ability to bring the fantasy. And when you've got the North Node up there in Cancer, well, you can do so much with that as far as publicity is concerned, because you're going to be able to get to people's emotions, no doubt about it. And the North Node is teaching you how to do that right now. It's going to be there for a while. So master this. Master that art of compassion. Master the art of nurturing. Master the art of giving. Master the art of healing and loving and feeding people and caring for people and supporting other people, because I can see where this might be what you become known for. Now, down in the bottom, you've got, Saturn and Pluto and Venus opposing, all of that outy stuff that you want to do with this North Node. But if you guys can work it out, or whoever, whatever, your family, that they're not too much of a burden, or you don't feel that your family is a burden to you right now while you do all your outer things, because the North Node is pushing you to do the outer thing. Yeah, you might have responsibilities at home. You might even work from your home or work on homes. You could have some power plays at home and some push and, definitely some power issues at home. But right now with Venus there, it's a good time to smooth things over in the home. And I can also see you doing projects and things to beautify homes. But family, this is about love and family. I can see you getting closer to your family. Things might have been a little tough with you and your family over the last few months because Saturn's there, right? Saturn's always hard and harsh and just a little bit restrictive and constricting. And Pluto's there because Pluto likes to wash things away and build it back up again. So you might have had this ebb and flow with your family life over the course of the year. But Venus is there right now. Venus is so positive. I just feel like during the month of February, you're getting a positive boost to your family life, a positive boost to your home life, a positive boost to like love and all of that. Beautiful. Even the children, I think, have a little bit of emphasis, especially around the new moon on the 4th, when the sun was at 15 degrees and Mercury was there in Aquarius as well. And in fact, Mercury doesn't even go into Pisces until the 10th. So it's still technically in the 5th house for you guys now. You might have had some emphasis on your children. I could see some of you guys just thinking about your children, spending time talking with your children and reestablishing your relationship with your children. Also, there's a lot, I see communication. I don't know why, but I just see a lot of communication actually, because Jupiter is in the 3rd house. So you're talking to a lot of people. A lot. Many people. In fact, you might feel like the more people I talk to, the better. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. Now, the one thing I do have a problem with, though, is if you're a Libra, you've had Uranus in the 7th house. I don't know what you've done to your relationships or what your relationships have done to you, but Lord Jesus, take the wheel. Let's hope it gets better from here, especially since, you've had this Saturn down in the 4th house and Uranus has been in the 7th house, causing havoc to all your relationships with just about everybody. And just know that if you've lost all your major relationships, it's because Uranus has been retrograde in the 7th house. Now, when Uranus goes into the 8th house and it gets out of your Aries and goes into Taurus, something tells me you're going to have a whole bunch of revivals, people from the past that had written you off and said you were nothing and you were no good and they didn't want you around no more. Suddenly they're going to want you around. And this may really come true or be true if you're doing extremely well. And they may feel like they want to be around you again. Because Uranus, to me, when it goes into the 8th house, is a sudden possibility of wealth. You could suddenly become wealthy out of the blue. I'm not kidding. Also, Mars is in the eighth house. It's going to be in the eighth house in Taurus. In fact, Mars goes into Taurus, which is your eighth house, on the 14th. So as of the 14th, you're going to have Mars in the eighth house. Uranus is teetering at the brink between the seventh and eighth house. All this is telling me is that Uranus is about to leave that crazy partnership area, and hopefully you'll calm down with juggling all the multiple partners you probably have been juggling, or just having crazy experiences in your relationships in general. And that's never good for a Libra, because Libra is the natural sign that rules relationships. It screws with your equilibrium when your relationship's not flowing smoothly. You need that. You need that for your sanity, right? So it must have been crazy for you with Mars in the seventh house and Uranus in the seventh house. Like the arguing and the bickering and the disagreements and not meeting and just meeting different people, right? Just constantly, and not knowing who to choose even. That could have been part of it. But now Mars is going into the eighth house and Uranus will go there soon. This may tell me that you may have chosen a partner, because Mars in the eighth house rules sex. So on to the next level, right? This is sexual activity, in my opinion. But with Mars in the eighth house, it does indicate that there's going to be some sexual activity after the 10th or 14th of the month, expected to be on and popping. That's all I got to say, because Taurus, well, it's not home. It's opposite of home. Taurus is normally in the second house, and Scorpio is normally in the eighth house. But in this case, and Mars is normally in Scorpio. But this case, Mars is going to be in Taurus. See how that's weird now? Okay. And I think it's going to make you maybe, possibly, not saying it will, more sexually, just trying to get yours. You're just trying to get off. I hope you're going to be okay. Make sure you use protection. Lord have mercy. There's so much emphasis in the eighth house. Now, this could be money. Okay. The eighth house also rules money and legal documents. Okay. And therapy and psychologists and crazy people and just deep heart to heart talks. But money and sex. That's what I always tax, money, sex. There you go. That's the eighth house to me. So that's where that emphasis is going to be when Mars goes into Taurus, a very sensual sign in the eighth house of sex and death and taxes. Just amazing. And money. So, and be cautious, because it just slipped out death, right? I don't like talking about death, and so I never attribute death to any houses or any of that. But I will say that with Pluto and Saturn in the fourth house of endings and Mars and Uranus teetering around the eighth house of death, I want you to practice caution. You got Jupiter in the third house of travel locally. Be cautious in your travel. Just saying. I'm such a Capricorn, but caution, okay? Because Mars throws caution to the wind. And I just thought of my friend who has gotten his bike back. He loves motorcycles. And I just hope he doesn't throw caution to the wind, because he recently survived a motorcycle accident and he's repaired himself, but it might be horrific if it happened to him once again. And so that type of thing where, with Jupiter in the third house of local travel, I want all of you Libras to be cautious of local travel. That means when you're in your car, or if you're on a bicycle, or if you're on a motorcycle, or any of those things, anything in your neighborhood, because Jupiter is actually positive, though. It just means there's an overabundance of it, if you can understand where I'm coming from. It's just more emphasis there, Jupiter, overabundance of. So you might, there might be more opportunities for things like accidents, and because there's so much overabundance. And Mars is also usually indicative of too much of a good thing. And it's in the eighth house, in its fall, in, in Taurus, but it's in the eighth house. It's home. It's weird. It's like it's in its fall and in its like home and its dignity at the same time or something weird. It's in the eighth house. It's home. Okay. That's where it reigns, but it's in Taurus. And so it's a little bit uncomfortable. And Taurus likes to have sex a lot. And so the urge might be there. Just be aware of that. I'm being led to tell you these things. Now, on the 19th, well, before I go to that, the 18th Chiron goes into Aries. Aries is your seventh house. So Chiron's going to go there. And on the 18th, the sun goes into Pisces. More emphasis on the sex. And on the 19th, we got the full moon in Virgo. Now, I'm just hoping that with Chiron going into the seventh house and with the sun going into Pisces, I'm just hoping that my little friend from afar doesn't decide I'm going to go for the sexual experience because I can't get to the one I really want. That can happen. Be aware of that. And, be aware of that mindset of doing things that way. Because Chiron, by the way, it might not be doing that at all. Chiron going into your seventh house might be going there to heal your relationships, heal what you thought could never be healed. Maybe you thought no one could ever love you. Maybe you thought no one would ever stick by you or no one could ever truly care for you. Maybe you'll find that there is someone who wants to do that now and is willing to do that and give you what you want in that area. And so that could help heal the wound of having that pain in the seventh house. But again, we're looking at that inverted thing again, because Libra, normally you would be on the seventh house normally. But in this case, it's going to be Aries. So it's like you switched. There might be issues that have to deal with me versus thee. Like, how can I be myself and you be yourself and we both mesh together and be one as a couple? And so issues like that are going to come into play. Again, there's going to be some emphasis on sex. On the 19th, with the full moon in the 12th house and the sun in the 6th house, I can see where maybe some of the things that you're doing in private or secret or things that you shouldn't be doing that can lead to your self-undoing can affect your health on the 19th. I mean, if you go off and you do drugs and you have an overdose, well, hell, it's going to affect your health. If you're having sex with someone unprotected and you get, an STD, well, that's going to affect your health. Please be aware that the full moon is going to be in your 12th house of self-undoing, and that the sun is going to be in your 6th house of your health and hygiene and taking care of yourself. Because if you're not taking care of yourself, if you're off drunk and, doing whatever, it could come back to bite you. I'm hoping that with Saturn, well, no, because it's even with Saturn's opposed where it's supposed to be. Saturn's supposed to be in the 10th house. It's in your 4th house. The North Node is supposed to be in the 4th house. It's in your 10th house. I have a feeling that for you guys, sometimes you might feel like you're just doing everything shit ass backwards. Like, what the hell? Am I doing shit backwards? What is this backward ass shit? I just don't know why that came to me. And on the 12th, you might really start saying these words. Now I'm trying to think with Virgo in the 12th, what I'm afraid of more than anything would be pills. Be careful, Libra rising, Libra Venus, Libra moon, of that full moon, of, doing self-undoing things on the 19th in your 12th house. Don't take too many pills, monitor that. Don't do any illicit drugs if you can. Protect yourself. It's your house of self-undoing. The full moon's going to be there. It's going to be all emotional. It just may be that you might, steam off at somebody at your work, and that could really mess with your finances. It sets off a problem, or sets off an issue with your work life because the 12th house opposes the house of work, or something that you're doing in private and secret, and it can it might affect your health. So be aware that these are issues that this 12th house and 6th house emphasis is going to be happening and influencing you, because the full moon is happening there, and then it's going to just kind of linger over your chart for the next couple of weeks. So anyway, you guys, I hope you got something out of this. I'm already 6 minutes late for my dance challenge. They probably think I chickened out. Hell no. I'm going to take care of it. And you guys, I want to wish you a very happy Valentine's Day. I hope you have a beautiful Valentine's Day. Whatever goes on when Chiron hits your 7th house, let it do its thing. Let it heal you. Let it heal your relationships. Let it heal your partnerships. Let it heal. Okay? Any open wounds, close those wounds. Heal those wounds. All right? Okay, you guys, this has been Adrienne Igo, Capricorntigress of Astrology, Look Inside. And if you haven't already, please like and subscribe to our YouTube channel and share our videos. I'm sure somebody would love to see our videos. And I can be found on Patreon now at patreon.com/Capricorntigress. And also, you can find me on Facebook at facebook.com/Astrology, Look Inside. And we have a group on Facebook where I give free readings, free mini readings. And that's facebook.com/groups/Astrology, Look Inside. Okay. Well, thank you guys. It has been my pleasure. I have done my readings for the night. I set out to do my challenge. I did my challenge. I feel like I've been invigorated. I'm going to do the dance challenge. All you Libras are invited to come and join me there. And I wish you all the best. Much love and light to you all. Namaste.